So this is your UV visible spectrophotometer. You can see the model number. It's a model number and it's being manufactured and marketed by Shimadzu. And this UV visible spectrophotometer is actually connected with a system in which all the data were acquired and analyzed. The name of the software is UV Probe, and the dilutions made are kept here, and the demo will be performed by Mrs. Sabita Kumari. Okay. So now I will show you the cuvette for holding your sample, isn't it? So you need to see the cuvette, because at the time when we are going through our theory last year, I said the cuvette has certain dimension, and even I told you that it has some specific architecture. Okay, let me show the thing and explain. Okay, so this is your cuvette, and you can see the thing. It's almost from the top you can see the thing. It's square, and internal, if you measure the distance between one wall to other wall, inner wall, it will be around 1 centimeter. Okay, because you know the thing, because path length seems to be, we used to keep 1 centimeter, so that seems to be the thing. So cuvette is actually square, and you can see it's rectangle. And when I just a minute, okay, right. So you can see that one surface that you are seeing, it's actually grounded, and when I turn the thing you can see the difference. The other surface is completely transparent. So this is what we were actually talking in your theory. The grounded surface is actually meant for, you need to hold the cuvette from this side like this. Okay, so don't never try to touch the cuvette like this. The grounded surface is meant for holding your cuvette like this, right? And the transparent surface through which only your UV radiation actually pass through. Okay, right? So this is the phase through which your UV radiation will pass through, and this is the phase where you need to hold it. So don't try to hold like this, because any grease in your hand will actually stick over to the transparent surface, that will interfere with your determination. Okay, so the length, I think it will be around 5 centimeter. You are supposed to fill 3/4 of the cuvette with the solution. Okay, so what you are seeing here, this seems to be the area where you need to keep the sample, right? So you can see, you can open it from here. I can show you. You can open this like it's a sliding door at the top. Sabita, can you show it? Right, you can slide it. Now you can see there is a cuvette holder. We have two holders. One holder is meant for keeping a blank, another is for keeping your sample. Okay, so the blank absorption, if any, will be cancelled out, and you will be getting the absorption only for the sample solution. Okay, right. Now Sapita will show you how to fill up the cuvette. So you can see the thing how she is holding. So grounded surface is holding, okay, and any excess. So first she is rinsing it. After rinsing, she filled it up, and wet surface should be cleaned. In case if it is wet on the surface through which your UV radiation will pass through, during the course of filling up the cuvette, if it is getting wet, use tissue paper to clean it. Now she will put the cuvette in the sample holder. So this is how it has to be placed. So it's your blank. Now she will repeat the procedure with another cuvette that is meant for holding your samples. So use first filling for rinse your cuvette. Savita, you can simply throw the content. Yes, you throw it because it's just you are trying to rinse it. After rinsing, you fill. You have enough content in your volumetric glass. You rinse it once and then you fill it up 3/4, okay, and use tissue paper to clean the surface, right? Then put it on the other side, right? So you have blank here and you have your sample here. Now you can close this one, close the window, then the reading can be taken, okay. So your screen will show you, and first we will try to pick the lambda max, okay. So picking up lambda max, we are actually using a solution which is having the highest concentration, and we will be simply scanning the solution from 200 nanometer to 400 nanometer. That's your UV range. So it will give you a lambda max information. Then you need to fix your analytical wavelength as your lambda max, and that lambda max wavelength will be used for getting the value of other dilutions, okay. So it will take some time to completely scan and give you the lambda max. So I'm stopping here and I will get back to you once I get the complete picture. Yes, now she has almost completed the entire analysis. So after fixing the lambda max, she took reading for all the dilutions one after the other. So you can see in the computer screen, you could able to see a linear graph. So that was generated using a standard dilution, and there is one more table below. Just a minute, I will take a position to explain it. Okay. Right, so you can see the graph here. So this we used to call it as standard plot, and this was actually derived using standard dilutions. You need to prepare a serial dilution with the standard material, standard cunene sulfate, and from the serial dilution you got a linear graph. So what you are seeing here is a place to enter the values. You can see first column is sample ID, then sample type. There we are actually entering, it's a standard, isn't it? So you need to mention standard there, and fourth column you need to enter the concentration, and after entering data up to that, you need to select that particular row where you made the entry, then come down, you can find a tab here, read standard. So you need to click it. Now it is actually not active since you have not selected any of the row in the top column. So once after entering the data on sample ID, type, concentration, you need to select the row, then when you click read standard, so that will provide the reading in the fifth column. So you can see there is a reading in the fifth column that was generated after clicking read standard. So you need to repeat it. The first one we put blank, we got the reading, and after that we are actually gradually introduced increasing concentration, samples with increasing concentration. That's why you can see standard 1 is showing absorbance 0.168, standard 2 little bit higher concentration, that is showing absorbance of 0.338. likewise it is increasing. So when you are increasing concentration, you can see there is an increase in absorbance, and that's why you are getting a clear linear graph here, right? And after completing this one, you need to introduce your sample. Okay, so at the top you are using a box meant for entering your standard data, and at the bottom you have another box, so where you can enter your unknown data. Okay, so you have an unknown sample in your hand, and type you can write an unknown, because or otherwise paste you can write, because at the top you made the entry as standard, and this one may be unknown or otherwise paste. So concentration is unknown, isn't it? So after simply entering a sample ID and type and select the row, and you need to click the activated button read unknown. Now you can see that the same link has changed. Earlier it was actually showing a read standard when we were active in the top box, and when we were actually shifting to second bottom box, it is automatically changing to read unknown. So when you click read unknown, then it actually generates the reading for your unknown sample. You can see the thin concentration 5.160, and next column it is actually giving the absorbance. Actually it actually reads absorbance, and it uses standard graph to calculate your concentration, and the concentration is now appearing in the fourth column. Okay, so this is how this actually works. Of course the things were automatically generated through this software attached with your instrument, but we will be doing it manually, right? So I'll be providing data for standard, serial concentration for which what absorbance actually obtained. Then I will be providing a unknown absorbance. You need to build or create a standard graph like this. Then using the standard graph you are supposed to calculate the unknown concentration. Okay, so that exercise we will do, and probably it may be in group wise or otherwise individually it may be provided. Okay, thank you. So what you are seeing here is the complete scan. Actually we scan the sample from 200 nanometer to 600 nanometer. Your sample is actually quinine sulfate, and you can see some 7 peaks in the scanned document. Okay, and the exact peaks can be seen from here. So if you want a numerical data, so where you are having the peaks, so you can pick from here. What you are seeing in green color upward mark here, isn't it? So these things are actually giving information regarding the peaks, right? So what I'm going to pick here, because if you see around 7 are there, and your peak number 4 and 5 are actually close to 400, right? And you have another two peaks, 6 and 7, they are actually close to 200, right? These two peaks, actually peak 4 and 5, can be used in case if you want to analyze your sample by means of fluorescence, right? And if you want to analyze your sample by means of UV visible spectrophotometry, then you can pick any of the peak from 6 and 7, right? So you can see the thing, those two are very strong in the graph. So for today's determination, I'll be picking peak number 6. So peak number 6 is actually 249.50. So I'm going to use this wavelength as a lambda max for this determination. Okay.